going on, everyone? It's TF Renegade here, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. In today's video, we're taking a look at Transformers X Back to the Future Gigawatt, or Gigawatt, whichever one you prefer. But this guy originally came out back for the 35th anniversary, but now here we are at the 40th. I know it's an endless journey. It never stops. So yeah, they decided to re-release this guy for the 40th. And I gotta say, I think this is probably one of the best collaboratives they've ever done. Yeah, he is a retool of a figure we've already gotten, but I don't know. There's just something about this guy that just makes him so fun. He's easy and he looks good with the other deluxe class figures. I really do think this is one of the best ones. So how about we take a look at him? So in his robot mode, we can see Gigawatt looks absolutely fantastic. And when it comes to the head, I think they did a really good job on it, especially with the sculpting and stuff. But this is a personal thing for me. I think the head should have been more sleeker, like a cooler design, because in the movie, Doc Brown chooses the DeLorean because he thinks it's cool, right? Like this nerdy dude sees a DeLorean, he's like, yep, that's the time machine. That's a cool car. So I would have preferred it to be like a cooler head, like a cool guy. But, you know, I know a lot of people like the scientist face on him as well. So it's really a personal preference thing, and I'm not knocking at points for that because the face sculpt is still really nice, but that's just something I feel. And when it comes to the chest, we can see we got the flux capacitor right there and the time circuits right underneath. So that looks amazing. And the hood is, of course, the DeLorean, which looks awesome. I really love this because when I was a kid, I always wanted a Transformer DeLorean, and this thing looks so cool. It's like filling that void that I always wanted. So you got that right there. And of course, we got these little bits on his shoulder, which are not on Sideswipe. These will play a part in the vehicle mode. So you got that. The arms are the same though, nothing too spectacular about these. And his legs are remolds as well. And you can see we got some gaping holes right over here, and that will play a part in the vehicle mode as well because these tires do have a part to play, and the feet are just your average feet. The juicy part though is when you flip the guy around and you can see the gull wing doors and all their beauty sticking out back here. I love this so much. I just, the gull wing doors are so iconic, and just seeing them in the robot mode like this, oh man, it's so cool. I love this so much. But, you know, you come down here to the back of the legs, no gaps or anything, so that's pretty cool. Everything fits together well, and you can see the back of the DeLorean right there. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the robot mode, I think this thing turned out fantastic. And we'll just take Sideswipe so you can see, I mean, they're similar, but there's a lot of differences between them. So I don't know. I think it turned out great. Now, when it comes to the accessories, our guy Gigawatt comes with some pretty cool stuff. And the first thing we're going to look at is the Mr. Fusion. And of course, that thing looks absolutely magnificent. I think they did a really good job on that with the molding and such. So that looks pretty cool. So you got that. And of course, he comes with the lightning rod from the end of the first movie, which looks awesome. So, I mean, there's not really much you can do with this. You could stick it in his hand over here if you want him to just kind of swat at some Decepticons like it's a little fly swatter. I mean, it's not going to do much. It'll just annoy him, but you have that option. Or you could just stick it in his arm over here, which is how I like to keep it displayed. So you got that option. And of course, he comes with his own blaster, and this thing looks awesome. I love the molded details on that. And you can see we got a little port back here, and you can go ahead and stick your Mr. Fusion back here, and you can make it even longer. And I think that looks pretty cool with that. So there you go. For the articulation, Gigawatt can look to the left, he can look to the right, and he can look all the way around if you want him to. His head's on a ball joint, so he can look up just a little bit and look down upon you if you so choose. When it comes to the arm, he can stick that sucker all the way up like so. But since Gigawatt has new pieces on him from Sideswipe, you gotta be careful with these. So with the gull wing doors, you gotta make sure these pieces are all the way out, or else if you turn this arm back, this piece will get caught on that and you might break it. So just keep that in mind. Or if you want to, you can just move this piece down. It really depends on you, but just be careful not to break that piece there. But as you can see, you can move it all the way around. I mean, you might have to move it out to here a little bit so it doesn't get caught on that, but you can do it if you want. He also has a bicep rotation, an elbow bend, which is nice, but nothing with the wrist. They only go in and out for transformation, so you got that. But we do have an amazing waist swivel. You don't have to worry about that. Nothing with the back gets caught either, so you got that. When it comes to his legs, you can stick that sucker all the way up. You can kick back all the way as well, and when it comes to the side, all the way up like so. So you don't have to worry about that. He does have a thigh rotation, which is nice. It kind of gets caught just because of the way it's molded, but you do have it right there. You also have a knee bend, but it gets caught just because of his little booster things that are in the DeLorean mode. But if you move it all the way up like so with this piece out, you can get full 90, so that's good. When it comes to the feet, we got ankle rockers, so you know what that means. We can make Gigawatt stand any way we please. So for comparison, let's go ahead and slap 86 Bumblebee in here so you can see how he looks with a smaller deluxe. I think they look pretty good. So you got that right there. And next up, we'll put out another collab figure, that being Bone Shaker from Hot Wheels. And again, I think he looks pretty good. The Hot Wheels guys look pretty good with everybody. So you got that. Looks pretty good. So you got him. And then next up, we'll bring out another famous franchise, Ectotron from Ghostbusters. We're going to have to back up here since he is tall. I think Ectotron is probably my least favorite because he's just way too tall. I think they should have made him a little bit smaller, but, you know, as it is, I don't think they look terrible together. So you got these two right there. Looks good. And last but not least, let's go ahead and bring out the behemoth himself, 86 Optimus Prime. And you can see how these two look together. I think they look pretty good. I don't have any complaints. So there you go. So before we get to the vehicle mode, I have just a quick PSA for you guys. When you're transforming this guy, you got to be really careful with this chest piece. So when you're flipping the flux capacitor over this way, you got to be careful because the tabs that keep this in place are clear plastic. I've already broken this once before. I had to get a different version of this to replace. So it's broken on me before, so you just got to be really careful. So when you're flipping it this way, you're going to flip this side down to there. You got to watch out for his head because it does get in the way. And then when you're putting it back into the robot mode, you're going to see this big thick tab right there. You want that to fold inward like so. So it goes down in there and it comes back here and you can see it's right there and it's going to tab into place right there. So just a quick PSA. I don't want you guys to break your copy. That is just one of the biggest problems with this figure right here. So I just want to point that out. To say I love this thing is probably the biggest understatement of the century because this turned out absolutely phenomenal. I think Hasbro and Takara did a really great job bringing this car to life on a Transformer, especially a remold. Like, this is a remold of Sideswipe. They look nothing alike, and they were able to make this come to life. This is so cool how this turned out. This has got to be one of my favorite Transformer vehicles ever done. This is really something awesome. So when it comes to the details on this guy, the front part does not have the DMC logo. It's not a big deal to me, but some collectors might not like that, so you have that. I think the front end looks pretty good though. Don't have any complaints about that. You come to the side over here, and as you can see, got great molded detail all throughout the side. Looks fantastic. And of course, the most important part of the figure is the doors. So can we open these? Yes, we can. So this is probably the most iconic part of the whole car because it's part of the personality. Like, you have to have the gull wing doors on here. And I'm so happy they were able to integrate that into the figure, and it looks fantastic. I know Lego's doing a DeLorean here soon, and they don't have the gull wing doors. So I don't know. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, you got to have some style. So you flip to the back side over here, and as you can see, we got great molded detail all throughout the back side. Looks fantastic. I like how that turned out. I'm kind of bummed this isn't painted over here, but, you know, it's just a small nitpick. I still think it looks good with the molded details. You come to the back, and as you can see, we got nice little things going on right there. We got the taillights of the DeLorean, which look fantastic, and, of course, the out-of-time license plate. So that looks pretty good. We love that. And we got the DeLorean wheels, which look excellent. You come to the bottom, and as you can see, we got the flux capacitor right there from the chest and his head right there. It's not a big deal. You're not going to be flipping this guy over to look at it. So, I mean, there might be one part where you're going to be looking at it, and that is if you put them in hover mode. So when it comes to the wheels, you can go ahead and flip these suckers down. And as you can see, we got it in the hover mode, but something doesn't look right about this. I think we need to complete it with the Mr. Fusion. And of course, you could stick that right on top of this right over here. So you can complete the look from Back to the Future 2. And it looks absolutely amazing. I'm so happy they included this as well. And they really didn't have to do that. Like, they could have just made the car mode, but they went the extra mile to include the flying mode. And that's just so awesome. I'm so happy that they were able to do that. You just got to be careful though, because the front tires have a weird way of coming down. So if you make it like this, if you push down on it, it's going to be too far in. So there's another way. You have to actually click it out and then put it down. So it's a little weird how that works, but you just got to make sure that you get this down the right way so it's sticking out like so. But man, this is just phenomenal. And one more thing I got to touch on. If you put him back into his normal mode and you take Mr. Fusion off, how is Marty going to get back to the future? Well, of course, he's got to stick this rod right back here. There's a little hole right there, and you can stick that right back there if I can get it. And now we have the lightning rod all set up, so now Marty can make it back to 1985. And the one thing I do want to say is this piece is made out of rubber. I forgot to touch on that earlier, so you got to be careful how you handle it because it will bend and just get all wonky. So just be careful with that, but as a whole, it looks really good. And it's great for displaying. I mean, it really depends on which part of the movie you love. And if you want to have this in the DeLorean car mode, you just have a lot of options with this. It's fantastic. So there's one last thing I need to say in that the blaster does have storage. Underneath here, there is a port. So you can go ahead and stick the gun right in there, which looks excellent like that. And also underneath the gull wing doors, there's a little port right there. So you do have some more storage for your weapons if you want. So for vehicle comparison, let's go ahead and slap Bumblebee in here. And as you can see, they look pretty okay. Nothing too crazy about that. So you got them. And of course, we'll put Sideswipe in here since we did look at the robot earlier. And as you can see, totally different. Like, I have no idea how they were even able to do this because it just looks fantastic. So there you go with that. And of course, we'll put Bone Shaker in here, one of the other collabs. Again, they look great together. The Hot Wheels guys turned out pretty good. So you got that. And of course, we'll stick our chunky big boy Ectotron in here. And this guy is just way too big in my opinion. I think this guy really needs a remake and scale down, man, because this is crazy how huge he is. But I think this came out in 2016, so it might be Combiner Wars Engineering or something. So there you go with them. And of course, last but not least, we got to stick our big boy in here, Optimus Prime. And of course, they look fantastic together. This is just a really good pair up. Optimus Prime and the DeLorean. It's just so cool. This is great. I'm so happy with this. So what are my final thoughts on Transformers X Back to the Future Gigawatt? Guys, this figure is a huge win. I mean, this turned out phenomenal for a remold. Like, it's crazy how well they did with this. And he comes with fantastic accessories. And really, it's great for Back to the Future and Transformer fans. You get a great DeLorean vehicle mode, and you get a fantastic robot mode. So it's really the best of both worlds. And the gull wing doors, that's my bread and butter there, folks. That's, I'm really happy about that. But the one big problem, and it's a huge problem, is that chest piece. If you're transforming him and you break it, there's no fixing it. You got to get a new one. And I already broke mine once and had to replace it. So it's a really big problem on an otherwise fantastic toy. And it just sucks because he'd be perfect if they didn't do that. And if it was that much of a problem, I would have taken just a normal DeLorean hood. I don't need the flux capacitor on there if it's going to cause issues like that. So, you know, in the future on collaborations, don't put gimmicks on here if it's not going to work that well. So really, that's my only complaint with it because he is a fantastic toy. So for the collector's rating, I'm going to give Gigawatt a 9 because otherwise he's a fantastic toy, but that middle piece is a big problem. So he's going to get a 9 from me. And for the parents' rating, I'm going to go ahead and give him an 8 because he is a great toy, great accessories, easy to transform, but that chest piece is going to break. I know it's going to break if younger kids are using it because they're going to put force on it and it's going to snap. So he's getting an 8 from me because I know that might break. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you guys like the content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It always means a lot to me when you do. And leave your comments down below. That's the most important part of these videos, is what you guys think. Do you guys love this guy? Do you hate him? Or do you just kind of feel meh about him? So go ahead and leave your comments down below, and I will see you guys next time.